The most popular debate is who is the GOAT. These arguments occur in barbershops, corporate working environments, and social media. But whatever happened to the athletes who once was the best player on the team and lost their job on their day off? Here are 5 players who were once superstars on the team but did not live up to the hype and suddenly lost their jobs. Number 5, Joe Montana and Steve Young. The 49ers was a dynasty led by cool Joe Montana. Joe led the 49ers to 2 Super Bowls prior to Steve Young's arrival to the 49ers. Some would say, why would Coach Bill Walsh sign former USFL star quarterback and former Heisman Trophy runner-up? After all, Steve Young was deemed a bust after failing as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers star quarterback. Bill Walsh was impressed by Steve Young's natural ability and believed his lackluster numbers were primarily due to the lack of talent around him in Tampa Bay. Bill Walsh had to make one of the toughest decisions of his career. Joe Montana was declining as a player. He suffered several back injuries that required surgery. Doctors suggested that Joe Montana retire. Joe Montana was benched in a divisional game against Minnesota Vikings for Steve Young. Steve played well enough to have the quarterback controversy. Bill Walsh was about to get fired for losing 3 straight playoff games.
Coaches avoid a quarterback controversy at all costs.
A rare occurrence where you see Joe Montana lifted from a game.
Bill Walsh actually fostered one.
Well, our strength is a quarterback, but our problem is we have 2. And there's a quarterback controversy developing. We're going to have to select between Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Joe Montana suffered an elbow injury and missed the entire 1991 season and most of the 1992 season. Montana played the last game in the 1992 season. Steve Young established himself as a starter, and Joe Montana would not take another snap in a 49ers uniform. Number 4, Eddie Jones and Kobe Bryant. Eddie Jones is a 6'6" guard from Pompano Beach, Florida. Eddie played basketball at Temple University. He averaged 19.2 points a game and led them to the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament. In 1994, he was named Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. Jerry West stated he wanted the best pure athlete available, and Eddie was too good to pass up. The Lakers drafted Nick Van Exel the year prior, and the Lakers was looking for a good sidekick. Eddie was a scorer, but it was his defense that stood out from the rest. When Jones joined the Lakers, Showtime was already over. They didn't have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Magic Johnson, which meant that there was no hopes for a chance of the playoffs or the championship. Jones became a big part of the Lakers squad as the Lakers made the playoffs. Kobe Bryant was drafted 13th pick in the 1996-97 season as the biggest steal of the draft coming straight from high school. Jones was in his 3rd season and he was no longer the new kid on the block with star potential. Eddie Jones was supposed to be the second coming of Michael, but he was the first coming of Kobe Bryant in LA. LA acquired Shaq in the free agency in 1996. Eddie Jones was the second leading scorer on the team, and Kobe was the new sheriff in town with his potential through the roof. Jones made his second All-Star appearance, scoring 17 points a game on 39% from 3. Kobe averaged almost the same thing with 10 less minutes after 20 games in the lockout season. The Lakers traded Eddie Jones to the Charlotte Hornets. He was averaging 13 points a game to Kobe's 20 points a game. You just lost your job.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job.
Number 3, Darius Miles and LeBron James. Darius Miles is a 6'9", 235-pound forward selected directly out of high school by the Los Angeles Clippers in the 3rd overall pick in 2000. He was the first team NBA All-Rookie in 2001. Darius Miles has a long wingspan, great athletic ability, but lacked a jump shot and lack of understanding for how the pro game flowed. The Clippers gave up on him in Los Angeles, sending Miles to Cleveland in exchange for Andre Miller. It was considered to be a bold and exciting move for the Cavaliers franchise. After acquiring Miles, the Cavs centered their offense around Miles and young, charismatic rookie DeJuan Wagner. The first season with Miles, the team was a disaster, and Darius played a huge role in their downfall. His inconsistent play and poor attitude made the Cavaliers' trade of Andre Miller look like a mistake. But as bad as the Cavaliers played that season, it turned out to be the best thing that happened to the Cavs. Without Darius Miles, there would be no LeBron James in Cleveland. LeBron became the savior of the franchise, and Darius Miles was stagnant with the production of 9 points per game. The end was near for Darius Miles as the Cavaliers traded him to Portland Trail Blazers for a do-rag, a bag of Doritos, and a Black & Mild. Cleveland Cavaliers, tell me how you felt about LeBron James before he got there.
Don't have a chance for gold in the NBA draft, and that gold, LeBron James. But is the 18-year-old from Akron truly the savior?
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, though. His potential is probably, the sky's the limit for him, though.
Good LeBron is just going to add to what we need and, just make things a little bit easier.
And he would come in and make an immediate impact like a Caron Butler, did for the Miami Heat. I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. If he come, he can just hop on our bandwagon and hopefully we can do something big.
Number 2, Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. Drew Bledsoe was the first overall selection in the 1993 NFL Draft, taken by New England Patriots. He started right away for the Patriots as a rookie. Bledsoe was ranked among the top passers in the league with the help of wide receiver Terry Glenn. Drew Bledsoe led the New England Patriots to the Super Bowl, but lost to Green Bay Packers. In March 2001, Bledsoe was signed to a 10-year, $103 million contract. During the second game of the 2001 season, Bledsoe was hit so hard, he started singing the Star Spangled Banner. Tom Brady took the starting position and led the New England Patriots to the playoffs. In Brady's first playoff game, he threw for 312 yards against the Oakland Raiders and led the Patriots back from a 10-point deficit to send the game to overtime, where they won on a field goal. Tom Brady hurt his knee in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh. Drew Bledsoe came in as a backup and led the Patriots past the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Brady started in the Super Bowl and led the Patriots to a Super Bowl win, and he never looked back. Drew Bledsoe, tell us how you feel about Tom Brady and losing your job.
Are you a Patriot fan?
I am. It took a while. It took quite a while to get to that point. When somebody takes your job and some young punk comes in and won't give you your job back, there's some bitterness, for a while. But
when did you know Brady was good?
I'm still not convinced. No, Tommy, he was a guy when he came in. I knew he was going to be around for a long time. I didn't think that he was going to be a starter or 6-time NFL guy and Super Bowl guy or any of that stuff. But I knew he was going to last a long time because he had that attitude. He was really positive attitude, really hardworking guy. He was right in my hip pocket all the time, trying to learn. So I figured he'd be like a 10, 11-year backup. That's kind of what I figured he would be.
But you just signed the $100 million contract. The last thing you're thinking is this 6th-round pick out of Michigan is going to take your job.
No, that was the last thing on my mind. And, I was an open book, for him at that point. Turns out maybe I should have held some stuff back a little bit.
Number 1, Reggie Theus and Michael Jordan. Reggie Theus was selected by the Chicago Bulls with the 9th pick of the 1978 NBA draft. A 6'7" guard, Theus averaged 16 points per game during the first season and was a runner-up for the 1979 NBA Rookie of the Year award. Theus followed his rookie campaign with a sophomore season in which he averaged 20 points per game and 6.3 assists. Newly hired coach Kevin Loughery decided to bench Theus for the first half of the 1983-84 season. Theus was traded the same year. When Reggie was traded, Michael Jordan was the draft pick coming in. Reggie was like, "There's no one that can replace me that's a rookie." So Michael Jordan tells Reggie, "I'm going to get 45 tonight." Michael ended up with 43 points. He comes to the locker room and says, "I didn't get 45, but you got to come back to Chicago."
Michael was interesting because we played in college, and so I used to sometimes before the game, before the night before, we go eat or go to his hotel room, and he was really mad at Reggie Theus because when he got traded, when Reggie got traded, Michael was the draft pick coming in. And Reggie was like, "There's no guy who can replace me that's a rookie." So he said, "Just tell Reggie that I'm going to get 45 tonight." So I went to the locker room. I said, "Reggie, Michael said he's going to get 45 tonight."
Theus on the dribble, off to the right, takes it in, and Jordan steals the ball. Here's Michael Jordan on the drive. In on Joe Klein, all the way to the hoop, scoop shot. A spectacular play by Michael Jordan.
So he ended up with 43. And so he comes into the locker room. He said, "I didn't get 45, but you got to come to Chicago."
If you watch the whole video, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and also hit that notification bell so you know when my next video coming out. Let me know, did I miss somebody on this list? And do you agree, disagree? And I will see you on the next video.